people care about people. Every story you've ever been enamored of, whether it's science fiction or a horror movie or what, all the best stories, and in any medium, are about people. At the end of the day, people want authenticity. They want truth. They want real human emotion.
We are here in Austin, Texas. Welcome to the Rolling Stone studio, live at South by Southwest. And I am so happy to be here with Ray Seahorn and Vince Gilligan, two of the forces behind one of the best shows on television, Pluribus. And a lot of other stuff before that. But we're still thinking about this show. I would have been thinking about it even if I wasn't doing this interview. I'm still thinking about Better Call Saul. I'm still thinking about Breaking Bad. And as I was preparing this, I was thinking about this thing that Quentin Tarantino said. He loves TV shows, but his claim is, unlike movies, they don't stick with you. You're not thinking about them 5 years later. And I was thinking, okay, maybe that is true for some television, or maybe he's wrong altogether. But as two people who've made some of the greatest television of our times, what do you think about that?
Firmly disagree. I mean, there's forgettable films, just like there's forgettable television, and then there's ones that stick with you. I mean, our shows, even if I didn't have the great fortune of being in them, really stick with me. I'm still thinking about Leftovers. I'm still thinking about 6 Feet Under. Yeah, it's just the storytelling is what sticks with you.
Yeah. I met him once for 10 seconds. I don't know Quentin Tarantino. I bet you he's telling the truth for him.
Yeah, sure, probably. And he's such a film aficionado, too.
But I don't agree. Like Ray, I'm still thinking about Twilight Zone. I'm still thinking about the Andy Griffith Show.
Sure.
I'm still thinking about MASH. I'm still thinking about WKRP in Cincinnati. I'm still thinking about, I could go on and on. Everybody, and then there's people who are not into either movies or TV. They're still thinking about symphonic music they heard. It's just, or a beautiful painting they saw in a museum.
The people that read, there's those people.
Yeah,
books.
I heard about them. Yeah.
Some people think about books.
But everybody's got their thing that speaks to them.
True.
So I think that's probably
it's probably true for him.
Yeah, but maybe a little bit of overly generalized. Yeah.
I thought we were going to do. I thought you were heading towards opera ballet discourse because that's the new.
Yeah, right.
Or because of Timmy.
By the way, I mean the dance. I mean all of it, all of the arts. We're lucky to have all of them.
We're lucky to have all of them.
We don't have. It's a shame. Only a couple of them seem easily monetizable, or at least that's the perception. The philosophy is that you can monetize movies, you can monetize TV shows, and if we could monetize ballet, opera, stuff like that, and more power to anybody creating any form of art. There should be more of it, not less.
We could just have it government subsidized so that the arts were free for everybody.
There's a thought. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that would be good. A lot of things would be good.
Yes, yes, a lot of things would be good.
A lot of things would be good.
How much trepidation do you have about the state of Hollywood, the future of Hollywood? Prestige TV is already in a somewhat endangered state, it feels like, despite the two of you and the amazing people you work with proving that it's alive and well in your own way. But what are your overall thoughts about that?
The state of TV, and I'm more worried about the state of the world, but I mean, the TV and movies are way down the list. But but no, that concerns me too. I worry about AI. I worry about one company owning everything. I worry about. I'm not just saying this because my boss is here, but I like working for Sony Pictures Television. I've worked with them for 20 years. I like working for the last independent studio. Yeah. But now everything's vertical integration. Everything is let's own. I know. Here's a great idea. Let's own everything. Let's have one company own everything, and then maybe if we can perfect AI, then we can have we can cut out the humans, the pesky humans. I mean, I'm worried about all this stuff. But having said that, I'll try to be not just negative. I will try to end on a positive note, this particular statement, by saying that people care about people. Every story you've ever been enamored of, whether it's science fiction or a horror movie or what, all the best stories, and in any medium, are about people. Even science fiction is about aliens, about this, but no, it's about people. All the good ones are about people are infinitely interested in other human beings. And that is how we make our living. You get to portray human beings whom you are not, and I get to write about people I'm not, and I don't think machines are going to take that over. I think to a certain extent there might be a certain level of that happening, while it's still in its novelty phase. But I think at the end of the day, people want authenticity, they want truth, they want real human emotion, and I think that's the up note I'll try to end on, which is to say that that is why I continue to have hope that people are never going to get tired of storytelling, and humans tell stories, not machines. So
I'm very thankful for, like Vince said, Sony TV, which has produced all of my shows with Vince, but other shows have done as well. And they've always been great champions, not just of me, but of great storytelling. And I'm also very thankful with what Apple TV is doing right now.
Yeah.
And this is original IP, which is a thing that a lot of people are afraid to take a gamble on. And I realize it's not a gamble to want to do a Vince Gilligan project, but he's stepping outside of the wheelhouse that everybody knew was already a cash cow in marketing terms for them, saying he wants to do something new, taking giant swings, doing something which feels almost niche in how odd and strange and thoughtful and thought-provoking it is, and saying that he wants me to be the lead. And I have my own following, but I'm not a movie star. So I really appreciate that they were like, let's do this, let's do it, and let's go all in and let him tell the story how he wants to tell it, cast it how he wants to cast it with Bialy Thomas. Not that Sony and Apple hasn't. I mean, Zach and Jamie have been in my corner, and many of those guys. I'm not selling myself down the river, but I'm just saying, like, letting him tell the story how he wants to tell it, and then also putting the money behind advertising it.
Yeah.
Big part of it. Like, there's a lot of people doing great work, and we don't know how to find it, So they went all in on it, and I really appreciated them for that.
Yeah, I agree.
As an actor, I would imagine this particular show was like running a marathon each episode. And I wonder, and it feels like that kind of level upping, that kind of training, not that you needed it, but I'm wondering if your own conception of your sort of abilities has changed after this amazing stuff you got to do over this season.
Well, I think it's on me if I don't at least attempt to get better with every scene I do and every single thing that I do, regardless of the project. But most actors, I think, would tell you, the ones that really love what we do for the craft of it, that to be challenged and to be challenged with great work is terrifying and yet exhilarating and everything you want. And so, yeah, there were days when I was like, I think I even came to you one day, I was like, okay, so you really think they're just going to want to watch me sitting there? It was like, eventually I got to a place where I was like, you have to put your head down and do the work. And it was a marathon. I was keenly aware that if I got sick, there's nothing to shoot. I'm only not in 5
God, I didn't even
or
think
something.
of that. Right.
And how can I get my prep done? I had an incredible producing team that, made sure when you're looking at forced calls, when you're looking at any rehearsal, a fitting, everything was. But she needs to learn her lines. She needs to prep the work, and she needs to get enough sleep and go to the bathroom and eat and shower. and then that frees me to then go and give it my all. So yes, it was very daunting, but it also is the greatest thing I've ever gotten to do as an actor. So it's been amazing.
I hope you're proud, because I
should be, yeah.
And you should be, because I wrote it for Ray, and I knew how great she was, and she still surprised me. She still surprised all of us. I mean, you when you write something for someone and you're lucky enough to folks allow it to get made, and you feel confident about the person you're betting on, and then they still shock you or surprise. Shock is too strong a word, but surprise you, like, oh my God, she's even better than I thought she was going to be. I don't go around feeling smart in life. I feel like I make more mistakes than I get things right. But that one, I'm like, I was like, hey, you bet on the right wonderful
Oh,
performer. And yeah, I think we all feel that way because there's a group effort, and we're all like,
major group effort.
because it's like, it's an episode where it's just you, and then the other half of that one particular episode, and then Vesca all by
Incredible.
himself.
Yes.
Carlos
Incredible.
Manuel Vesca, a great, it's just, but
Yeah, and even if there are scenes where I'm by myself with no dialogue, I need to tell just as many story beats
Yes.
as if I had dialogue. And then I'm not alone. I'm doing a dance with about 250 crew members that believe in the story and me.
who were always in your eye line, just off, right.
Just fucking around. No, yeah, it's a dance with the camera. It's a dance with the lights. It's a dance with sound. I mean, coming from theater originally in my background, the collaborative nature of this art form is something that is very, very dear to me. It's only going to be better if I'm doing it with everybody and everybody's contributing their best work. And you're only messing up if you ever are thinking like it's all about me. It's all about me because I could be acting my little butt off if it's not lit well, doesn't sound well, costume's messed up, continuity is messed up. Then it doesn't matter. It's not going to composing from Dave Porter, like all of it. And our crew is incredible, and many of them have been with him since Breaking Bad. Tons of them have been with me since Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And I told this story to the crew when we wrapped, but when you say it was a marathon, sometimes it was like, and we were nearing the end of like 5 weeks of night shoots. I don't know how many weeks it was. Some physically and emotionally like difficult stuff, and I just was taking a second to get ready for the next take. And you remember I told you Jules, our camera assist, was fixing my mark, and the sun's coming up, and we're chasing darkness, not chasing light. And he just tapped me on the ankle, and he said, "We all got you, right?"
Wow.
And it meant the world to me, and they do, and I got them.
Let's talk about the nuclear weapon in the room. It's really interesting, Vince, because I actually, in the wake of the cover story we did together years ago on Breaking Bad, I also talked to you while you were kind of breaking the last few episodes, and you were trying to figure out exactly how you're going to pay off the M60.
That's right, we did.
It is a very interesting and a fascinating moment, and you hadn't quite figured out yet, and you were realizing that wasn't as easy as you thought it would be.
Yes.
And a lot of people have made the comparison. There's we have a giant weapon, a giant plot device.
Yeah.
You need to pay that off. You said you have more plans, but of course that wasn't your original conception. This was a note from the studio. So I'm curious how all that is being thought out, and also, Ray, what you thought of it when you first kind of learned about it.
Well, I have the confidence now after, the last time we talked was like 14 years ago. And I didn't know what we were going to do with that machine gun in the trunk. But now I have the confidence to go forward in season 2 of Pluribus and just never mention the atomic bomb ever. So that's what we're going to do. And, because
Leave the box sitting in the driveway.
people forget, so, but we do have more of an idea. Having said that, we thought we did, and we're working away in the writer's room now. And we've been plugging away for several months now. And you think we know what we're going to do with this. And then you get into it and you're like, do we really know what we're going to do? So if this job ever got easy, I want it to get easy, but it never does. But in my heart of hearts, I know that it ever did get easy. That's when it's time to call it a day. This is the time to retire, is when it gets if it ever got easy. It wouldn't mean that I had mastered it. It would mean instead that I was at that point a hack, and I was phoning it in, because if you're doing it right, it's never going to get easy. So, which is part of the wonderful thing about what we do.
I feel the same. If I'm ever like not terrified, I'm gonna be like, what?
Yeah, like what am I doing wrong? It's like, oh, I got this. Oh yeah, it's just simple, It's like then it's like acting must be the same. It must be like if you ever think you perfected it, that's when it's time to hang it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could address the extent to which, the extent to which we should see this show as some kind of mystery box, and in other words, where the payoff is a big thing to be looking for about some of the the purposes of the aliens and whatnot, and also what the X-Files may have taught you as a creator, and maybe you as a viewer and a creator, about the dangers and pleasures of mystery box storytelling.
The second greatest job I will ever have, no matter what I do from here on out, will be the X-Files. 7 years in the X-Files. I loved every minute of working on that show. But yes, if the X-Files taught me anything, it was to assiduously avoid, am I using that word right? Strenuously avoid, assiduously?
Both are good.
Okay, good. I avoid like crazy mystery box shows. I don't ever want to, to me, this is not a mystery box show. And I probably shouldn't, go too much on record saying what it is and what it isn't, because I want fans to decide for themselves what it is. But, the trouble, you can do a mystery box movie. Speaking of movies versus TV, it's damn hard to do a mystery box TV show, because you don't know how long, unless you know for a fact your TV show is what we used to call a mini series back in the old days, or a limited series or whatever. If you have a finite number of episodes and you know from the start, then you can do your mystery box thing. But open-ended TV show, it's like this inverted pyramid of, you got a mystery in your first season. You're like, oh, this is great. And then you kind of got to answer the mystery, because otherwise which was an awesome show, but with Twin Peaks is like, I don't know if I can't remember if they ever solved the mysteries, but there's all kinds of examples of shows where it's like, okay, you got a mystery, you got to give some explanation for it. But then people love the mystery, and they love being in that sense of, so then you got to add a new mystery. And like with the X-Files, it's like, you got the bees, and then you got the oil, and you got the super soldiers, and and every every open-ended series falls prey to it. And to me, I'm not telling anyone what to think or not think about Pluribus, but if you're in it waiting for, I'm already saying too much, but it's like if you're waiting for everyone to pull their faces off and magically to be like reptilian evil.
So it's not V.
Don't hold your breath.
Right.
You might already know everything you need to know.
Wow.
About. Because I'm already planting flags here, which I don't really intend to do, but it's not mystery box shows. If you're into those, great. If you're really, really into those, watch something else other than Pluribus. Because that's, to me, that's not what this is. Yeah.
So Ray, you don't have any driving. You must have, like the rest of us, some driving curiosities about some of the, I won't call them mysteries, but the questions posed in the show about the scenario and about.
Sure, I'm playing someone that's trying to figure
Yes.
it out.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that I'm playing someone that doesn't have the answers, because I don't.
I'm sorry. I do see a conflict between what you just said and that part of the show.
Depends on what you mean by mystery box, though.
I feel like,
talking-
I don't know, so I'm not planting any flag. But as
You can't.
Ray, the actor, I feel like it's not a mystery, as in like, I can't wait to find out how and what the like evil power reason is behind it, more than I'm probably getting all this wrong. The questions it's raising about
it's more about the questions it's
circumstance,
raising.
about
Yeah.
what it means to be
I
human,
think.
and
Yeah.
I don't know, for and I think Carol, subconsciously, the character, it's almost like a reflection of that. She is obsessed with the why and the how, but she's being threatened with, if I don't, there's a ticking clock on her needing to find out how to stop this, right?
Yeah.
But subconsciously, she's actually going through the existential questions of like, I didn't enjoy my happiness when I could have, or whatever, however she defined that happiness, how she defined being successful. What does it mean to have purpose, to get up, to have, was her career her purpose? Like, what was driving her? Why does it matter if everyone loves your book versus only some people love you? Like, all of, like, what's high art, what's low? She has all of these things that she's wrestling with, and doesn't know she's wrestling with the questions that are much larger about human nature, while she thinks she's going after the plot.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I should have defined, to me, a mystery box story is like one in which there are M. Night Shyamalan style twists and
Is that what it
reversals.
is? I
I
wasn't
mean, that's, well, I mean, I probably should have, because maybe when folks watching don't all agree on
It means
what
there's like a big reveal, right?
there are a series of
Sixth
twists, and yeah, like that was awesome.
Love that.
That
Well,
the
all
one,
I'm saying is where you're
but that
waiting
was a
for
movie.
answers at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end. Like that would be how I define it. I think we've added an additional mystery. This is good because now you've added additional ambiguity to what you said.
Well,
so I
there's
think that's
definitely
good, yeah.
going to be plot revelation. There's going to be things are going to continue to happen dramatically. we're not suddenly going to make that come to a stop. You're going to learn more about Carol. You're going to learn more about the other characters. You're going to learn more about the world. And is she going to succeed or is she not? And what does success look like? And if she does indeed succeed in saving the world, and because there's
And
always
does the world want to be saved? Like, I mean, every time there's a plot question, there's an equal, sometimes opposite, but equal and just as important philosophical question or character question. Like, are they going to turn her or not? But bigger question is that a good thing or not?
Yeah. As I've been saying in a bunch of press we did, 6 months, however long ago. I love The Walking Dead. I love The Last of Us. Those are shows in which it's a very binary proposition. You're either a human or you're a zombie or a mushroom person, or in the last great show, Last of Us. You don't want to be either of those things. There's nobody ever who wants to be a zombie. But on this show, it's a legitimate question. Maybe you'd be better off being happy. Maybe you'd be better off being another. So that to me is always an important element of this.
And very quickly before we wrap, there's been a hope of late 2027 for the next season. Are we still looking at that, or is that over optimistic at this point?
It's like I feel bad on several levels. The pit is like kicking our butts in every award show, and it's a great show. Taylor Dearden, Bryan Cranston's daughter. Shout out to her. Shout out to Joey Reinish, one of the editors. Valerie Chu, all these great people we love from our family, our Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul family. They managed to make a great show and bring it in. On the day, 1 year later for the new season. Yeah. And meanwhile, we're just like, it's just like we're Gutzon Borglum, sculpting the Mount Rushmore or something. How friggin' long is this going to take? I don't know. We're doing our best. It takes forever making this thing. I wish it was faster. We appreciate everybody's patience very much. More and more as the months drag on. So yeah, but thank you for anyone who likes the show. Thank you for your patience. We appreciate it very much. We are, honest to God, doing our best. So,
well, Ray Seahorn and Vince Gilligan, thank you so much for joining us at the Rolling Stone Studio live at South by Southwest. Great talking with you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Brian.
having
This was
us. Glad
fun.
to be here.
Thank you guys. Yay.